Liam, result out of it, and would you assess that as a hit out of first, hit out of pre-season?
Yeah, a good bit of fitness and defensive tackling practice, wasn't it? Awful conditions and not a lot else you could really look for. Obviously trying to look for what we're shaping up like in attack and what we're seeing, but obviously really limited opportunities to take stuff and take opportunities. But I thought both sides put on a decent spectacle for what was horrendous conditions and obviously an infamously tight pitch.
It was probably a better game than the weather allowed it to be, but in terms of performance-wise, what were you pleased with? What elements were you looking for improvement on?
Generally speaking, I were happy with our contact area. I thought we defended the actual tackle pretty well. Conceded a couple of freak tries off kicks and stuff, which obviously you have to be aware of in those conditions. And then there are a couple that we need to fix up, a couple of bits we need to fix up defensively on structure and decision making and communication. But other than that, yeah, defensively, the one thing that's difficult to practice in training, like the 100% full contact stuff. So it were really good for that, and probably in that regard, probably ideal conditions to make it that. So yeah, no real complaints from us. We got a good workout. Obviously disappointing not to actually win the game, but you know, it's a really early game in terms of preparation for the season, especially with a late start to the championship.
From an attacking perspective, was it just difficult to sort of put any structure and fluidity together because of the conditions, or would you still hope to have been able to turn a bit more of that territory to point?
Yeah, it just makes the skill harder, doesn't it? A lot harder. I think lads were moving into position and seeing stuff. Seeing stuff that they wanted to take and looking like they wanted to do what we've been practicing in training, but obviously then it gets slowed down a lot in the conditions and stuff like that. So what they're actually seeing and how they're trying to go about getting it, I was happy with that in attack. Obviously, again, there's still areas to work on, and then being able to execute off the back of it, we're never going to be about that today, regardless of conditions, and that probably just highlighted it even more.
In terms of personnel, you had quite a few new faces in there today. Any in particular stand out? A lot of trialists as well. I think a few were from Civil.
No, I saw everybody had a dig and put a shift in. I thought, yeah, those lads that have been training with us and really helped us out for numbers over pre-season, and hopefully it's helped them out for their fitness and stuff preparing for their season. So I thought it were a good reward for them and a thank you, because they've really, like I said, they've helped us out and helped us get some quality out of us training, and I thought those three stood up well in what's obviously a step up for them physically, and did really well, and Ben Hersey as well, who came from Leeds at the last minute, sort of got asked if we could get him a bit of game time, and with Cav being poorly this week, it were ideal just to make sure we didn't flog all our forwards to death. So yeah, Salty as well. I thought Salty played 80 minutes as a senior pro. He put a big shift in, moving to fullback. So yeah, across the board, reasonably happy with it, and you know, without undermining the fixture, a glorified training session. Plenty to work on, plenty to improve on, that's for sure. But yeah, glad to get a first hit out of the way.
In terms of players that didn't play, Ben Crooks got injured on the last day of the season. Is he still unavailable through that? Or is it?
Yeah, he's reasonably close to playing. Should be available from early January. Cav was poorly this week. Dougie's had another operation on his thumb which didn't heal properly from playing too early for Sheffield when he had it last year. And is there another one more?
Did Brandon Moore?
Brandon hadn't been too well, so he missed out through illness. I think I'm missing someone. I might be. I don't know.
The other one I can think of, obviously, is Gareth Widder, but it's now been announced that he's signed. How has he been training yet, or is he still coming? And is it likely that he'll play before like the league action? What's the plan with Gaz?
Gaz will come in from New Year, so we're off now after this game till 2nd of January, and Gaz will be back in with the group from then. He didn't sign until Wednesday, I think, Thursday. And the plan with Gaz was first of all to be assess him, see what shape he's in physically, get him working with JK and get him a pre-season under his belt, and try to get him ready so that when we do play him, he's ready to play every week rather than trying to rush him in just to get a few bums on seats. When I've already spoken to him, and Louis and Woody have been training, and Keezy have been training really well. So touch wood, they don't get injured. That means we can get a bit of training into Gaz so that he builds that durability back up in his body, ready to do a full season. And then when we'll assess it, and when he's ready to go, we'll get him in there.
And just finally from me, in terms of the new look interpretations, they were sort of in place for today. Any early observations about tendencies, traits, just how the game looks with them in now? You've seen a full 80 minutes in the flash.
Yeah, I don't think it makes too much difference. I think we should be playing the ball with his foot anyway, shouldn't we? It's become a bit of a joke at times. Some people take it to the absolute extreme, and they're going to be the ones that are hopefully that they're strict on. I can think of a few examples in Super League that don't get their foot anywhere near the ball, and they've got some of the quickest player balls in the competition. So if they're enforcing it at that level, then we're happy to go with it. And just generally they're all right. I think the biggest change will be the penalty inside the 40 for me. I think it'll allow our teams to go back 6 or 7 years and become more structured, and have definite tap sets and a little bit more detail on them sorts of things, rather than being able to ad lib and playing when you get an extra tackle, or an extra couple of tackles, or whenever you get your 6 again. So there'll be a little bit of an adjustment to that, I think. But generally around the ruck, reasonably happy. I don't think there's any major rule changes, just the fact that they're going to try and tidy the ruck area up, which I think is a positive.